Oh, oh, that's weird. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. E ceva.
Good morning.
Hello?
I think this is a theater. We can all hear ourselves, don't we? Anyone in the back seat that doesn't hear us?
We don't need mics.
I don't think so. Do we? Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Sală de bine, peste tot în sală fără microfon? Nu? Okay, let's try with the mic then. Facem în engleză sau I can say it in Romanian? Well, let's see if I can say it in Romanian. Cum a zis, eu vreau să, în primul rând, să mulțumesc Codruța pentru inițiativă. Știu că Codruța a pus suflet și foarte multă muncă în evenimentul acesta. Cu AROC, Asociația Organizator de Concerte și de Evenimente Culturale, încă avem multă treabă acolo unde și Codruța s-a asumat rol de președinte și din nou, e foarte multă muncă, încă avem multe lucruri de făcut. Din fericire am reușit să avem o asociație cu niște organizatori din România foarte puternică. Încă e loc pentru câțiva să vină alături de noi și sper că conferința aceasta, care a făcut Artmania în colaborare cu AROC, va fi un primul pas să facem și asociație și calitatea de evenimente în România în ce în ce mai bine și vă mulțumesc că ați venit la la conferință. Mulțumesc frumos!
Okay, so I'm going to switch to English, if that's okay with you. My name is Lucian Mândruța. I'm working, right now I'm on a holiday, but usually I work for DGFM and also a blogger, and I write on Facebook.
You do strange things in your holiday, my friend.
Yeah, I know. This I like the audiences, especially here in Transylvania. I'm sucking up to you right now. Now, Who is here on purpose, really? I want to know. Raise your hand. Okay. Who was dragged in by the city hall? Okay. Yeah, me too. Okay. Who wants to know stuff about safety? Liars. Okay. What we're here to do is to talk. The first panel is not about safety. It's a lot sexier. It's called multiculturalism versus nationalism and unity versus discord, which I think it's fair enough in our world nowadays to talk about because, I mean, I'm coming from Bucharest. Do you know what we have for cultural festivals? Folk music and bad taste. So really I'm a refugee now from that kind of content. Going back to this, let me introduce to you a few people who are actually making Europe a better place and more diverse place, more interesting place through festivals. First of all, we have a co-host, and his name is Gordon Mason. He's a journalist, editor-in-chief at IQ magazine in UK. Hi, welcome to Transylvania, on behalf of these guys, because I'm not from here.
Thank you. I'm a refugee as well.
Yeah, where from?
From Scotland.
Oh, okay. Aren't you guys the ones that want to stay?
Yeah, I'm from Scotland and I live in London, so Brexit is not my fault.
Right. Okay.
There are a few people down here, maybe their fault. Yeah, his fault.
Yours. Okay. You voted, right? Didn't you? Okay. Oh, we also voted as socialists here, so we kind of share the guilt. Okay. And now maybe we want to introduce, let everybody say a few words about themselves. And Fruzina, you know her? You do know her. Okay, you know her festival. Please.
Cuckoo. Can you hear?
Okay,
Yes.
let me give you this.
No, it's fine. It works.
It works?
I
Okay.
just said the first words to try. So good morning, everybody. It's where is Kutruta? There you are. She's my sister. Well, not from the same mother or father, but you know that you are a dear sister. She's an amazing colleague, and thank you very much for this invitation here and that with your colleagues that you organized this. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor. I'm working also in the beautiful festival industry. I'm the festival director of the Lollapalooza Berlin festival, which is an open-air festival in Berlin. It is the first Lollapalooza festival in Europe. It was established in 2015, and that's my current occupation. And I'm also a board member of Europe, the European Festival Association, which gathers almost 90 European festivals. And I used to be also the program director and the artistic director of the Sziget Festival in Budapest, Hungary, because I'm born Hungarian. Are there any Hungarians in the room? Or Hungarian blood? Yeah, I saw it also in the back. But I'm actually I'm also a refugee, because I have a mixed blood, what we also call I would say in Central Eastern Europe. My father is from Slovakia. One of my grandfathers is from Transylvania, and my mother's side is from Poland. So I think I'm a very good mix of a perfect goulash soup with loads of good vegetables and crazy spices that we have here around in our, I think, wonderful Central Eastern European region. But as I said, currently since 2015, I live and work in Berlin, in Germany. Thank you that I can be here.
Thank you. Okay, moving on.
Good morning. My name is Christoph Huber. I'm from Switzerland. I'm a festival promoter since about 25 years already. We do a festival, Open Air St. Gallen, at the end of June, 30,000 capacity festival, which is on since 42 years now. So quite a traditional old festival. We do several new events, and I'm here as well because a lot of colleagues are here. I'm with Fruzina in the board of Europe. I'm the General Secretary of Europe. And I think what is interesting here is that Europe exists since about 18 years, I think. We're slowly going towards the 20 years. It changed a lot. I think the whole landscape in Europe with the festival changed. We did a lot of work in terms of health and safety, sustainability, etc. What I can say is my views about, you know, the multicultural things really changed because I got to know a lot of friends, colleagues within this industry, and I deeply respect all the efforts of a lot of countries really to make their events better, to achieve things, to teach things to young people, and yeah, that's why I think it's a privilege to be here, and thanks Kodruta for the invitation.
Thank you.
My name is Guido Janssens. Obviously, I'm also a refugee. I'm a Belgian that came via Holland to Romania. I've been living now for 10 years in Romania. We started, the reason I'm being here probably is that we started in 2007 a festival in Bucharest, which doesn't exist anymore, Best Fest. We are promoting some of the bigger concerts around the country. Actually, I just realized we closed kind of a circle today because we started our first big show was in Bucharest in 2006 with Depeche Mode with 45,000 people, and last Sunday we did Depeche Mode in Cluj, also 40,000 people. So it's kind of rounding it up. And I'm thank you, Kodruta, for putting this together and for inviting us. And I'm sure this is going to be a great conference. Thank you.
Right, sir. Is it working? Yeah. My name is Christian Radu. I'm not a refugee. I was born in Sibiu and working in Sibiu. I was the general coordinator of Sibiu 2007 Cultural Capital of Europe, and been doing Sibiu International Theatre Festival for the past 25 years, well, 24 actually. And in spare time I'm teaching at the university one thing which doesn't really exist, which is called cultural management. So basically that's it.
Okay. Quite modest. I mean, all of them are, really.
We're the Fugees.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, now, first question goes to you, Gordon. And I want to ask the audience, prior to that, if you have anything in mind, please speak up. Just raise your hand. We're going to have mics for every one of you. We're probably going to go through one or two questions, and then you can take over these guys, providing we stay inside the multiculturalism versus nationalism general theme. But this is an opening day, and this is an opening panel, so really I feel like these guys belong to you. So think about it, and whatever question comes to your mind, please don't hesitate to ask. Now, Gordon, back to you.
Oh, so I was going to get Christoph to explain what Take a Stand is, and why did you come up with the idea of Take a Stand? Was there some kind of catalyst that prompted you to launch it?
We worked since quite a while for...
Ma, you want to change it?
Change it. While on the...
Think you want to change the position.
Basically, you know, the European Festival Association, we worked on, as I said, various topics. We tried to make the events safer. We were talking about sustainable food, green and clean, and do everything. What we felt in the last years was, you know, that there was some things happening. There was the refugee crisis. There was the financial crisis in Greece. There was a lot of things happening really in Paris and in Munich and everywhere, which really shaken up everybody, I think, in the business. What we felt at that time is that the whole, you know, should we do like a kind of a mission statement for what are the festivals standing for? So about 2 years ago, we created this mission statement that the festival promoters for what kind of values we stand for. And it was the same time when the European Commission said, you know, finally, after efforts of many, many years, there should be a music program dedicated to music, really a program which supports music and the idea. We've been to a lot of seminars and discussions in Brussels. Frugina was there, Holger was there. And what we had the feeling is that it was about getting a share of the cake, money out of it, but it was not about the values. It was not about the idea of Europe being a peace project. And when that project stuck last autumn, and it was, you know, the financial budget was refused so far. Maybe it's coming somewhere when we are getting old. A music program will be done by the EU. We just took the decision that we need to do something. We need to create a program or initiative to use our festivals, because our festivals are a pool of millions and millions of people all over Europe. If you go to a festival, what we can see, if you are a young person and go to a festival, you are quite open-minded in the sense of tasting food, getting new music, and you're open as well if you have an NGO village, for instance. And that's why...
So your idea was a festival should not only provide entertainment, should also provide food for thought for young minds.
The festivals have been, you know, in the 70s, the festivals had an idea that was revolution.
Oh, yeah.
And I think since about 20 years, it was more about, yeah, having nice decoration programs, food, and being safe, and, you know, but it was not about getting a message over. And I think we created Take a Stand in a simple way to get to our audience, to tell them, it's your future, it's your country, do something about it. Go and vote, you know, try to be respectful, be open-minded, all of these key words basically to say you have to take a stand for your values. Because a lot of the young people, and if we see, you know, I mean, Brexit is a disaster, I think. And also because a lot of maybe the young people went to vote.
Brexit is the result of another festival, the festival on populism on the media, which overtook any other kind of value they can think of. You know, the other festival, your competition, won. How do you plan to retake that?
I think the people have to take their own stand. It's, as I said, you know, Take a Stand as such as an initiative. We don't define what the festivals have to do, and we know we have different countries. We know we have, you know, some festivals are more into politics. Some festivals rather take it in the background and do a nice festival environment and hope it will be all right. But I think we now have over 50 festivals, 10 associations who join us and support us. And I think it's nice to see that a lot of our colleagues just got the attention. It's a long way to go. Rules, strict rules, you have to do this and you have to do that. We offer things to the people. We talk a lot about it. Yeah, the effect will be bigger and bigger. We did it at our festival. The interest was big, really big. We had a lot of artists also read about it, talked about it. And I think that's the way, you know, we have to influence the audience. And maybe it takes 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah, maybe. But it's, we just we didn't want to wait for any kind of EU Commission to do it, because then we are old and dead.
I just want to say for the people, I mean, there are some people that are not really into the business, let's say. If we talk here about Europe, we actually mean the Association of European Festivals, and not Europe as a institution or a geographical area. I just want to make that
we
clear.
voted to come out of one Europe, but not the other.
Now, what would be those values you were talking about? I mean, surely there's a nice horizon ahead of us. Peace for humanity, unity, anti-racism, whatever. But how do you translate it? How do you make it palatable to the festival goers? How do you, you know, promote your values, and which are they? Frzina, for instance, how do you see this? This is more like a political message, isn't it?
First of all, a festival is about fun. That's the most important thing. And it's a gathering of people, one space, one time, and it really doesn't matter where these people are coming from. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It really doesn't matter what sexual orientation you have or what language you speak, which country you come from. That's the beauty of a festival, and in our views, festivals are currently the peace projects of Europe, of the European Union, I would say, because in those moments when you are together, sharing the beauty of a festival site, enjoying the artistic and creative creation, tasting the foods that is provided to you, tasting the drinks maybe of that special region, of that special country, enjoying the music that is presented on stage from various amazing artists coming from different parts of the world. And you are standing together, sitting together, walking together with people that you maybe don't know, but suddenly you enjoy the same thing and you feel the same thing, and that makes you, that brings you together. That's something, it's a feeling of unity. And that's, it's so early. It unites you. That brings you together, and you become very open-minded. You start talking to the people standing next to you or sitting next to you. You meet somebody from a different country, from a different space, from a different...
Now it's even worse. I got kissed by a guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the cheek.
But
why is that worse?
He was a bit drunk. It was untold last year.
But that's also, but you know, that's also an experience, and those are, and that's a very crucial thing. Those are positive experiences. What this world needs today, what each individual in this room and in this world needs now, is positivity, positive feelings. Maybe it sounds super romantic and very naive, but if you think of yourself, why? We are human beings. What do we need? We don't want to be every week, every day on the streets and fight against political powers that don't understand humanity, that are stubborn and think very nationalistic. Do we really want that? No, I don't want to live in such a world, and I don't want to work in such a world. And that's why, me personally, I'm super proud and I'm very honored to work in an industry. To work in an industry. Yeah. That is open-minded. We speak up. We show solidarity. We unite. And festivals and...
Oh my God. I think it's high time we give up on those.
No!
No?
No! Because... Okay.
Check two.
hey, hey, hey.
Of the panel was the festival as an act of culture in a divided Europe. Is that correct?
Sort of, yeah.
Right. So I think the basic discussion that we might have is starting with these simple words. A culture, an act of culture, and how would, is festival an act of culture? What part does the culture take in a divided society, and how could a festival become a sort of an engine towards regaining the kind of unity that we all languish for? So basically, I think that the main discussion about a festival is how, first of all, is it an act of culture? I'm just asking questions. I'm not drawing any kind of conclusions here. And what is culture doing for the very specific community in which a festival is happening? Is it creating social cohesion? Is it making the people better? Does it have an economic downstream? Does it provide, I don't know, financial growing to that specific area? Why do you do a festival in a community?
Why do you do this festival here?
About the discussion, I will get to that immediately. The biggest problem, so first of all, we're coming from, basically, I'm coming from a little bit different environment than you do. You're doing music festivals, which of course are a different breed. What we're doing here is, and not only here, but there are a lot of other models, we're doing a performing arts festival, which of course, it has different approaches and different kind of ties with the community, because you cannot grow a festival or festival without very close ties with the community where it comes. It has to be tied with the community, it has to be oriented versus towards the community, and it has to have social effects. It has to be intimately connected with the social fiber of that community. So, before answering the question, I just want to point out usually the black flag in that discussion. So, I'd like to point out what a festival isn't supposed to be, or which are the dangers of the festivals. First of all, the festivals have become sort of a very fashionable, very trendy. I remember 25 years ago, 20 years ago, doing the festival was a challenge. It was a call, and it was the kind of energy that Christina has. You have to have it to each other. Now it has become a sort of an instrument. And this is the first danger that the festival today is supposed to. The instrumentalization of culture. So this is a very big issue. When you don't use the culture as in what the culture is supposed to do, and we talk a lot about what is supposed to be culture, but you use it rather as an instrument to achieve other goals. You use culture to bring money. You use culture to raise your political stature, if we're talking about a political figure. Whatever you do, you use it as an instrument. For example, if we're talking about money, you don't use culture in having financial, no matter how important is that, to have a financial goal in the community, but rather to have an economic goal in the community. Help the community to develop economically, not bring the money. That's the kind of message. Another very big danger which goes with the festivals today is the festivalization of culture. Speaking to you about the rest, well, whatever you do with culture, transform it to a festival. You don't have, or still have, very pure or clean arts festivals. You transform every kind of culture into a kind of festival. This is another danger mainly. So what we have been doing in Sibiu? Sibiu had maybe started with Sibiu International Theatre Festival. Yeah, just 9 years ago. It always had a
culture in the center of its life. Sibiu has been always a big square, well, it always has been the place where the city has been lived. All major events, historical events, everything was happening outside on that specific place, or inside this wonderful historical heritage in Sibiu. So basically, what we have been doing, we have been transforming an architectural reservation, if you know, into a living place. That's I think the basic idea. How we did that within the performing arts festivals. So that was the first step. Afterwards, it has created a sort of taking people out of their houses, bringing them to the city, that we trying beginning to live inside the city and enjoy it. And that was, of course, continued throughout and resulted in bigger issues. But the basic idea was that we wanted a sort of an instrument, to develop an instrument for social cohesion, local pride, and of course, various other stuff, as I was saying, creating an economic downstream, and creating a policy, because artists always are afraid of politics. Politics is one thing, policy is another. Policy means also the policy of the community, the policy of the city, the policy of the community that you come from, and you can help with that. You can have it, you need to react to
politics, really? I mean,
no, even politics. Politics doesn't necessarily mean political parties.
yeah.
It means it comes from a very fine Greek
Political
word,
parties have
which means polis, which means the city. Politics comes from the Greek word polis, which is the city. So basically, we're talking about the city. The art has to be connected with the polis and do the polis. The polis is making people better. So how do you do that? Well, there are a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have questions. Maybe another question, but I want to make a comment. My name is George Hartmann. I work for Eventing. The first time in this discussion heard the word artist, I'm glad about that, because to my mind, it is the dialogue between the audience and the artist. It is the action which happens. The idea of the festival is actually to go out from the classic room where they have been, you know, where always a sort of elite had this discussion, go out in the open room and open a discussion. You know? So actually the festival idea for me is to go to a wider field to present ideas, and the dialogue between artists and people, and start this discussion in the open field. What you're talking about, festival, is more from the business case, which gives a promoter in a field of very hard deals with individual artists to make money in a different way, because when you look at the fact that in the 80s, 90s, the way of promoting changed dramatically. The rock festival actually is a new opportunity to gain money. So I think we have two situations. One is the idea of festival, a communication, to bring ideas and open a dialogue, and on the other side we have business cases. So I think we should try to mix that up. And you know, when you find out suddenly that there is a group of people, you know, like 50,000, and then afterwards you put ahead of the whole thing and say, well, they should actually behave correct, and they should have also a very good political idea behind it. A little bit late, I think you have to take this original idea of dialogue, discussion, and these discussions also should be controversial. You know, this is the main act of a festival, that you have different opinions and you discuss these different opinions. You know? But you need artists, and you need audience, and you need the communication.
Yeah, I think it's important that we don't want to take an opinion on top of a festival. Nobody said that. I think it's also not just the dialogue between the artist and the audience, which is important. I think there are plenty of festivals, and I agree. You know, there may be even political parties who create certain festivals, finance certain festivals, which is not a good thing. Yeah, but there are, you know, there are plenty of companies worldwide who promote only for the sake of money. But there's plenty of festivals who, you know, were created at one time with a philosophy and you know, had a long history and have a lot of volunteering. I mean, if you look at a festival like Roskilde, they have 20,000 volunteers. They spend all the money every year to charity, and then they go to the bank and refinance their festival, which is absolutely crazy. So I think it's not one opinion on Take a Stand, is not one opinion to say you have to behave like this. It's like starting a dialogue, giving the audience the advice basically, do something for your future, be active, because a lot of the people say, yeah, they go to festivals, they drink, they take drugs, and they just don't care about, you know, whatever in their society. And I think that's wrong. If I look at our audience, they really care about it. And they're really interested when we, you know, created other programs, when we created NGO programs, etc. I think they're really open-minded, and it's a great opportunity at festivals to really talk to the people, to make controversial discussions, to have a conference, and a lot of festivals do that. I think it's a great place for people to get to know new music, get to new cultures, new styles, new food, and being open-minded. And I think that's the point when we come to nationalism, in a lot of ways, the people don't know what the foreigner is like.
Guido, when you're programming your festivals or your events, do you feel any sense of responsibility to try and keep it as multicultural as possible? Do you, when you're booking the acts, do you think, oh, we better have somebody from Senegal?
We better have somebody what?
From Senegal or from somewhere in Africa to make it.
Yeah. No, I have to say when we talk about standalone shows, we're just looking at what could work from a financial point of view in Romania. What do we think that the people would be willing to buy a ticket for? That's the standalone shows. It's an interesting discussion because in 2007 we set up, and I hope nobody's going to mind me saying that, what I would like to call the first big international, with international artist festival in Bucharest, which was Best Fest, where basically the idea was we have an amazing sponsor market. Romanians are crazy for entertainment. They like to be entertained. They're outgoing people. So let's give them the biggest festival in terms of names that we can give them. That was about all the philosophy that was behind the festival. Well, I can tell you it didn't work, because even if we brought them the biggest names, from anything from Marilyn Manson to Pink to Nelly Furtado to Wu-Tang Clan, I mean, a lot of acts that you have never seen and had never seen till that moment in Romania. The festival somehow didn't give people the feeling that it was their festival. It was just something big that we kind of imposed on them. So, and I think that's one of the main reasons why the festival in the end didn't work. So we, in 2013, we decided to take a break, because also financially it didn't work. I mean, we had the crisis coming, and all of a sudden there were no sponsors anymore, and we had to take smaller acts, and people were saying, well, that's not Best Fest anymore, because Best Fest is with big acts. So, and we didn't create a report to the community. So we now are actually in the middle of well, at the last 100 meters for a new festival, which is called Awake, and which has a philosophy behind it, which we're doing in Târgu Mureș, which is where you have a 50% Romanian and a 50% Hungarian community, where we put emphasis not only on music but also on art, on the local community. We ask artists to create artworks for the festival, and not just asking them to create them, but also giving them a financial incentive to be able to make their art and to expose it there. We are encouraging people we have the forest library, we have discussion groups where people can come and discuss anything that's on their heart, on their soul, because we want it to become the festival that we create together with the people, not for the people. Because that was an experience that in my experience didn't work. So I think it is very important to have a festival It's not only the communication between the headliner and the public, or the public amongst themselves. Also the promoter has to have an idea of what do I want to express with this festival, because I think the people will feel that it's something that, you know, this is not just a money-making machine here, or they're not trying to making us buy as many ice creams or beers as possible. This is really the promoter, the creator of this festival has thought about more things. It's something that we like or something that we don't like, but at least something that involves us. I think that's very important.
So if you don't have that unity, it doesn't work then?
That's our experience, yeah. Yeah, that's what I really feel. And obviously, the title Awake for the festival, we also chose with everything that's happening in Europe, in America. I mean, you know, people wake up. We had the last elections in Romania where especially the youngsters didn't go vote. And they, you know, they woke up with a government that they didn't really want. But at the same time, they were sleeping. They didn't do anything not to have that government. So we're trying to contribute a little bit there. Yes, it's also politics. It's not party politics, but it's, I would like to call it politics of common sense. So
I would actually call it social engagement more than politics, basically. But I would like just to point one it works. One thing. Once again, there are festivals and festivals. And the way a festival relates to its financing source, how it makes its money, it also defines the issues that we've been talking here about. So a music festival is one thing. Basically, it relates to its tickets, to its sales. That's what, and sponsorship is common to everybody. But basically, for example, Sibiu Theatre Festival brings out about, I don't know, maybe 30,000 people per night out for 10 days, but they don't sell tickets. We don't have tickets. Tickets are sold only for indoor companies, and they're very cheap. They're about 10 lei, that would be roughly, you know, 2 to 3 euros. To companies like, I don't know, Baryshnikov, or because they've been subsidized. So that brings a very big problem. How do you relate to the funding bodies? Who are the funding bodies? Is it the local government? Is it the central government? The European institutions, projects, networking, international networking, and so far and so forth.
Let me tell you a story about that. Do you know that there's Festival Envy? In Bucharest, I was, a few months ago, I was at a meeting with the general mayor, Mrs. Pira, and she brought in a few guys that went to untold producers and tried to convince them to go to Bucharest and do a similar thing there. And they reported in front of our, audience, they were mainly journalists and bloggers, that these guys wanted like 2 million euros from the local government to start, or even think about starting a thing, because that was very expensive, they told them. And so they gave up, because 2 million was considered too expensive for the local Bucharest government to be involved with a magnitude, a project of this magnitude. Where do you stand in terms of local government being involved with festivals? What do they need to provide? How do you convince them to take money from them, even if it comes with some, strings involved? Or how do you feel about that?
Sibiu is giving 2 million euros for the festival, for example.
Okay. Is it worth it?
I don't know, is it?
Is anyone from City Hall here? Okay, is it worth it?
Yes, it is.
Good. Okay. We sorted this out.
You're going to get a promotion.
Okay.
Here's another question, though. So you've got lots of banks who are sponsors, yes? So if you had a theatre act or some kind of artist who was maybe anti-banking, would you get pressure from your sponsors not to book that act for your festival?
I don't know. But there's never been like not necessarily anti-banking. I'm censorship or something like that?
Well, I don't know. Kodrusa told me not to make any bankers jokes because we have a banking sponsor for this.
I'm telling you a banker joke.
So I have it in my contract. I cannot make any bankers jokes.
We have the best bank sponsoring us. Then.
We have the best. Yeah, I forgot.
But I can turn that to you guys as well. If with Take a Stand.
Okay, let me take this off your chest. I love Banca Transilvania. Don't we all?
So do we. We
Yes,
also have
we
it
do.
as a
We
sponsor.
do love
so-
them. Okay, good.
If there was an artist who had, let's say, questionable opinions, would the people who are involved in Take a Stand maybe blacklist that artist and not book them for the festivals? Or is that censorship? How do you feel about that, Christoph?
It's certainly not the decision of Take a Stand. We don't have any rights to define the festivals. I think if they sign up and support our initiative, they stand for our values.
That's correct.
That's how it is. And we all know that certain promoters don't care. You know, if a rather right band is doing well in certain countries, they would book them. I wouldn't do that for our festival, but that's my decision. That's my decision in a sense. And you know, it's still, it's a difficult, you know, we had a lot of discussions about, let's say, you know, somebody supports, a festival supports Take a Stand, but, you know, the background of the festival is questionable. It's still, for me, the case that they support, as a festival, Take a Stand, and they stand for our values, so that's a good thing. In the end, the audience will be attracted by that. I think it's difficult to say if it's like, that from greenwashing or things like that, but I think if they support Take a Stand, they support us. And I think, again, there could be a very interesting dialogue about talent, you know, which kind of talent we book, you know. And we heard stories now after, just heard it that, you know, certain people said it's not good to have any kind of activist left-wing band on after Hamburg, you know, because that happened as well. So.
How is the message communicated to the artist, though? I mean, when you're booking bands, are you telling the agent and the manager about Take a Stand, and hopefully they tell the artist? Is there any of that communication happening?
Yes, we even have one agency in the UK, one of the biggest agencies who are supporting our project with Coda, which is a great thing. And at our festivals, we communicate this. We even do in the backstage posters. We have cards out. We inform people. I know from other festivals that they talk to the artists, maybe, you know, explain them how many festivals are part of the initiative, so they see when they are on tour which events are part of it. And I think there are certain artists, they're rather skeptical sometimes to talk about politics, but some of them do. And we already have some, you know, some bands which are, you know, really doing photos, doing messages on stage about Take a Stand, which is a good thing. But again, it's the initiative of the festivals to decide on how active you want to be.
That's absolutely correct. We have teams, for example. Each year, the festival has a team. And this team is very, very engaged towards a very important issue in the world, or something like violence, inequities, and so far and so forth. So the, shall we say, lineup, maybe, but it's a musical term. The artist invited, or the companies invited, usually go by the team, and the performances they have, they're somehow aligned with this team, and the action. So basically, it's exactly what he says. The sponsors or the people are basically supporting this idea, not necessarily that somebody's anti-banking. They basically invest in this value. The value being the team. Just one example.
No, there's questions. There are other questions? Yeah, over there.
Actually, I have one. Why is it only the Scottish have a microphone that works?
I brought it with
me.
me. It's my own.
That's your own?
They're saving
That's a good one. My name is Stefan. I'm from the magazine Sunete, which is the only Romanian magazine in print doing that thing anymore. I'd like to get things back a bit to multiculturalism because it's a very important topic and at the same time a quite sensitive one in a way. doing that thing anymore. It's an important thing to
I'd like
have a
to
lineup,
get things back a
music,
bit.
theater as well, ballet, whatever, that gets together as many artists as possible from as many different social, cultural backgrounds as possible. But we've seen a lot of situations in Bucharest, for example. We have recently an outburst of volcanic festivals. So people get names, artists, which really don't gel well together. They don't belong together. They don't have a message together, just for the sake of doing a multicultural thing in a way. Look, we're doing that. We're covered. We checked that box. How do you, as people involved in organizing these kind of things, find the right balance? I mean, doing this because it's the right thing to do, getting people together because it's the right thing to get them on the same bill, not because we have to check a box, not because, well, we might have this artist free, let's book him.
If I may say something about it, I think that most of those festivals that you're referring to in Bucharest, they're all financed by the town hall. So there's your answer. There is basically no idea behind it. It's just, you know, it's badly promoted. It's quickly put together. There is a, you know, an official, non-official request for some people to come up with a proposal and a budget. Most of these people, I hope I will not insult them. I hope I will not insult somebody, but most of these people, give me your Scottish microphone.
No chance.
Okay, you can have.
Scots. Most of these people that actually get to organize these festivals are not organizers that we know, or we know very little about them. So there is no concept behind it. So that's why you have this eclectic lineup that doesn't work, that doesn't attract people, that is badly promoted, and it's just public money thrown down the drain. That's all I can say about it.
With the dialect. It's a very good question, and you know what? Well, I think every festival has its own identity or has its own philosophy. Has to have, or should, let's put it that way, should have its own identity, should have its own philosophy, and it's always about the team behind the festival, and that's, I would say, already the answer. Maybe to your question, it really, it's a people's business. Our business is a people's business, and the people behind a festival, the mix of those people, the variety of these people, that creates. Those are the people that create the festival, and if you are dealing with public money, and I very liked this dialogue, because I know your festival, and it's a great festival, and you are doing exceptional projects and performances, and I think that's a great collaboration that you, as the municipality, you realize that this is a very valuable thing for the city of Sibiu, and and as you said, the tickets, so you almost don't have any ticket sales. So the money that you invest into this festival, with the programs, it provides a big cultural festival for Sibiu that goes back to the people of Sibiu. So actually it's a perfect investment. Please keep on doing that. And when we are talking about commercial festivals, for example, until now I've always worked for commercial festivals, also Siget and also now Lollapalooza, and we don't get any, so Lollapalooza doesn't get any public funding from Berlin. We survive, or we have only the income out of the ticket sales or sponsorship money. Those are the two income possibilities. Oh yes, sorry, yeah, very important, and food and beverages. But how we create our programmation, that's a conversation of inside of our team, and we do also have not only music, but we have also an area with NGOs, with startups that are dealing only with green and clean and environmental issues. We have, for example, an area that is only for kids and families, and it's their place. In that area, for example, we don't allow any sponsors in. And we also have an area that is only for contemporary theater, street theater, contemporary dance, crazy art installations. And for example, these areas, this kids area or this green area or this theater area, who knows if that generates income? Question. We don't really know yet. But we see from the feedback of our audience and from the press that they really like it. And they see, oh, wow, there are people who are making some thoughts how they want to create the identity of a festival. And what you said also about Bucharest, you said the answer already. So I'm really, honestly, I'm really sorry that that is happening. But maybe that's the answer, that these people don't really care, that they tick the box. Never do an event only for ticking boxes. Because the audience is not stupid. Our visitors are not stupid. They see that and they feel that. And especially in our times where you have so many, I mean, you get to know, you know in less than 1 minute what happens in New Zealand. And you are aware of the new trends. Our visitors, you guys, us, we need to be aware of the trends. And our visitors, they want to know about these trends. They want to see that. They want to experience that. So if they don't get that, and they see that it's like a very poorly made, thrown together event, they will not go again. And that festival or that event will never reach any person. And if they want to give a message with the festival, this message will never go through.
I would just add as well that I think Guido hit the nail on the head. It's bad promoting. Because one of the things I love about festivals, I'll go to a festival and see something that I've never seen before and didn't expect to see. And I was talking yesterday to Monica, if she's here. Yeah, there you are. At Pahoda a couple of years ago, they had an Israeli band on stage, and then immediately after that band was a guy from Syria. And that's eclectic, but it's really surprising, and it made you open your eyes a little bit. So yes, it's bad promoting. You can be eclectic, and I hope festivals remain eclectic, but it's just the way it's promoted and the way you put that across.
But I think it's not just about the bill. I think that's important. I think it's always reduced to the artist playing. So is it a good event because it's a multicultural event, because bands from 30 countries are here? I think if you take Wacken, one of the biggest rock festivals, it's a straight rock festival, you know, just heavy metal, over 4 days, 80,000 people. They represent that as well. They have the values as well. It's not just about the bands playing. It's not just done by having as many cultural bands from all over the world. I think we talk often about the philosophy of the event, what you represent, how do you talk to your audience, how much connection do you create, you know, and for instance, our festivals, our main theme is inspiring generations, because we have a lot of generations that came to our event, and they see how our philosophy is done, you know. Is that my heart? No.
If I may add, I don't think there are good festivals or bad festivals or something like that. The problem is, what exactly... What do you do? So what we say is, what actually we even teach our students that what an active culture does is delivering an experience. That doesn't creative resources, or whatever, and time to create and deliver an experience to a public who is willing to pay money, spend time, and have some participation, willing to participate together. If you do that, then you have a very successful festival, even if it doesn't have the perfect one in the world. But if you can deliver an experience to a public willing to accept that, and you invest money, they pay money. You invest time, they spend time, and so on and so forth, then you have a very successful thing.
Are you happy with the answers?
Yeah.
Just stop there, yes.
But that's the thing. If the people like that, who can condemn them?
Okay, we have another question over here.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
No, I have, we talked about the correct example, I don't know if it is correct to say it, but what do we do when culture is used mainly for political agendas with state money?
There is no such thing. That's not culture.
Yes, but it's a reality. So, from the private side, we're representing a lot of the private sector.
The instrumentalization that we have to talk about.
I think what Kudruca is trying to say also, we as commercial promoters, we as promoters that actually try to make a living out of promoting shows or festivals, we are competing constantly, especially in Bucharest, with a town hall that is putting out events. I'm going to give you one example. We booked, I don't know what year it was, years ago, managed to book a band for a show in Sala Palatului, which is about 4,000 capacity. The band was called Pink Martini. And we booked them for a show in Sala Palatului. We paid them 20,000 euros, sold out Sala Palatului, so it was paid them something extra because it was a split deal. So everybody was really happy. On the next leg of the tour, when we found out they were touring again, we obviously called the agent and said, you know, we would like to get them back for the show in Sala Palatului. And he said, yeah, well, I received an offer from one of the cultural departments of your town hall. I said, okay, but you don't want to work with us? Yeah, if you pay us 100,000, because that's what their offer was. And this 100,000 they paid to Pink Martini for Terebe, which is an 800 capacity venue. So it was not about making money at all. It was just 100,000 euros spent on a band that basically was at that moment probably valued 30,000 euros because, you know, they had a successful run in Bucharest the year before. So ever since we were not able to book Pink Martini anymore. So is that correct, that we have to compete with our own town hall to, you know, that's, and there's lots of examples like that.
Town halls be actually organizing events like this?
No, I personally, I don't think so. I think town halls should spend money for an event like what you are doing, where commercially it would be impossible to ever make this event happen only on private money and on private initiative. Something that you give to the people, but you know, to take from me as a public, as a private enterprise, a band, and overpay them and then put them in an 800 capacity venue, that's just a waste of money. There's another example also in Bucharest of, there's a kind of Best Fest since a couple of years, which is in Herăstrău Park, which is called Green Fest, also financed by the City Hall, which is basically taking the same bands that we would have at a commercial festival. I mean, we could bring this to the Bucharest people for a normal price without using public money, but you know, we have to compete there. So again, something that you are doing, or niche things that no commercial entity could ever bring to Romania or to Bucharest, because it's very special and very, or even the, you know, the UNESCO festival, which also gets money. I can understand that, I dig that, and I think it's normal that also authorities support culture, this kind of culture. But you know, if authorities start to compete with their own local promoters, I think that's just insane.
I wanted to show another kind of a competition with the state, which brings us to the very subject of not the panel, but the meeting. We have been comparing IAC with ISU. With respect to our participants in the class.
They're here.
Right, okay. They've actually shut down the biggest venue in Sibiu 2 years ago during the Jazz Festival. Just shut it down. And it hasn't been open since. Which brings a very big issue because Sibiu is lacking. It's in a huge lack of professional performance venues. And this was completely shut down. And again, all the efforts, all the discussions, everything has
We had a discussion
no result
on
whatsoever.
safety right afterwards, so maybe...
So just an idea, how can you compete with the government in various forms? You could have a stand-up comedy with that.
I don't know the issue of Sibiu, so I'm not going to comment.
No, I think there are various ways in which the government can compete with you.
Like in your opinion, should we see the state's responsibility to invest in infrastructure? We talk about, you were talking about infrastructure with Sibiu who doesn't have a hole. Bucharest has practically no authorized hole, and even the ones existing are minimal. So instead of probably spending millions and millions of euros just to put on 3 shows and practically killing the entire private market. So at this point, no festival is sustainable without a private operator, because if the municipality practically has every weekend, 3 days, something.
Yeah, we brought all our EEMUSIC brought all its events this year to Cluj and outside of Bucharest. So
But is there a dialogue between like you people and these people at the municipalities that are putting up these shows?
Well, I think for 2 months we asked the municipality in Bucharest with adults to get an answer, and we didn't get any answer, or even were asked met for that. So I think that
Let me rephrase that. Do you want to be president of Romania or not? No, good. So,
No, but honestly, I mean, this is an important issue because there again we're touching the topic of culture and how can you develop with culture your own communities, your own country, and if there is no dialogue, I mean it's like a negative point for those people.
here if we want for the private sector, here we want the dialogue, because I mean we live in this country and we want to use our creativity and our investment to bring added value and to create medium and long-term sustainable market. But at this point, at least in Bucharest, it's only financed particular project organized by the municipality, which practically kills the private market in Bucharest. And with the late infrastructure, so if you as a private organizer, you are faced everywhere with unauthorized holes. And here it's not equal holes. That holes may be done to respect some standards, but instead of the authorities maybe looking into solving the infrastructure and creating the basis for the operators to use their creativity to bring more things into the market, they just go back with super high fees, really proceed with the institute to everyone. And one thing that I always want to mention and like to mention, that state funding is still our money. It is public funding, our money paid through taxes. So I feel that we were festivals in a troubled Europe or in a crisis. I think that there's also this moral crisis on how you will use this funding and also how, on what agenda we use it. Because I would like to have a summer festival, a Balkanic festival, but for it to be used for the value of the culture and of exchange and of development, not to direct the society in political directions that maybe they are wrong.
Do you have a voice as the Romanian music sector? I mean, do you have one voice?
At least maybe I at this point probably the people in the association are trying to stand for this type of change
important point. One thing I can, just an example, first of all, don't give up. I mean, it's a long way, it's a really long way, but it's always, if you do lobby, because that's already politics, but that's lobby, and you need to have at least strong voices from the local Romanian music sector to go towards these people and knock on the doors, even though if they're closed, go climb in the chimney, don't give up. And the example I want to give to you is actually the reason why we have to take a stand now, because many of our great European festival colleagues and music colleagues are sitting here now also in this room, and since years, so myself, I do lobby work for this music program for Europe that Christoph was also mentioning since 2005. So, and many people here in the room are part of this lobby that we are doing, and we have one voice as the European, I would say, music sector and festival sector, and I cannot tell you how many meetings I was part of talking to EU officials in Brussels. Hundreds, honestly. And we received always many, many promises. Many empty promises. And last year, in June, we were invited to MIDA, that's also a music, like a showcase event. And there was also an EU panel. And I could be also part of that panel, and we spoke about Music Moves Europe, which is a program, that could be the music program for the European Union. And Music Moves Europe is something that we wrote, the music professionals, festival professionals wrote this program for the European Commission. And we presented it to them on a silver plate. Last year at MIDEM, we made this presentation and talks, and there was the Director General who was there also at this panel, and after this panel she said, woohoo! Now she understands, and this is such a great thing, and we need this music program for Europe, like the media program, because the European Union has a media program, and it should be something the same, and it should be called Music Moves Europe, and how amazing. So, and everybody was so enthusiastic. I thought, yeah, now we changed the world, and those 12 years of lobbying and going to Brussels and talking to people was finally worth it, because we made a change now. We made a difference now for our European music sector, be it clubs, be it festivals, be it cultural institutions, whatever. And what happened in November last year, the Parliament, the European Parliament, did not accept it. But, and my friends, that's the good news. Because Christoph was there, and Manfred Tari, also a great friend of ours, we were in Berlin together at also a European conference. And I kind of, and just one day before we received the news that the idea of this Music Moves Europe was taken down, so that we could not accept it. And we were sitting there together in this little restaurant, and I said, I don't want to do it anymore. I mean, it's 12 years of our lives, of many colleagues we invested, and again, no, I don't want to do it again. And then we were sitting there talking, and of course, after a couple of glasses of wine, we decided, no, we will not say no, we will not stop, because otherwise they would win. And the work would be lost. So what we did is, let's do something ourselves. And that was actually the idea and the creation of Take a Stand, which is, as I said, it's a small thing. But also, we did not stop talking, we're still talking to the EU officials, and there have been many changes in Brussels. And now again, this year, so like now this summer, we've been again contacted, now by again different people, but asking us, oh yeah, this Music Moves Europe program, that sounds actually not too bad. So can we maybe start again the conversation and look what could
Scottish microphone has a question from Romania. So Lucian, you're going to translate this again.
Bună ziua, Lucian, bună ziua tuturor. Numesc de lucru acasă, sunt organizatorul principal de Cluj Blues Fest, festival mic din Cluj, care va avea loc la 4 ediții, dacă toate merg bine și avem noroc în toamnă. Vreau să vă scurt voi fi. Noi avem un episod foarte interesant la Cluj legat de tema panelului multiculturalism versus naționalism, unitate versus izolare. Pentru că venim dintr-un oraș care a avut un episod de 12 ani de naționalism, chiar de ultranaționalism.
So we have an interesting case in Cluj, coming from a city that had 12-year reign of ultranationalism during the former mayor of Cluj, they had a spell of ultranationalism for quite a while.
Și 2004, după schimbarea în mod democratic a primarului, a avut o coaliție de partide moderate la putere. Că, practic, Clujul, din 2004-2017, prin forța culturii, a decolat și a explodat.
So Cluj took off from 2004 to nowadays because there was a coalition of modern forces that took over the city hall.
În 4 mai, festivalul pe care cunoști și tu, care a fost la ele, TIF, Jazz in the Park, Electric Orchestra și Antor. Eu numesc Big Four, dar mai sunt vreo 20 de festivaluri mici, faine în Cluj. Întrebare punctuală pentru tine. Cum ți se pare aceste festivaluri? Pentru că foarte mult ai apăsat tema asta destul de politică, multiculturalismului, populismului. Mie mi se pare că Clujul sunt extrem de cosmopolite. Cuvântul multiculturalism e foarte delicat. Dar cuvântul cosmopolitism nu mi se pare compromis. Mi se pare
the other type of attitude towards life that you can see in Pennsylvania. It's a cultural difference that is making all of it. Now go back.
I'm sorry, were you implying that a folklore festival is nationalistic?
Some of them are, yeah.
Generally speaking?
Yeah.
Okay. How about the heritage and tradition then?
What?
The heritage of a people and its tradition.
Yeah,
that's nationalistic.
Yeah, it's part of the national ethic.
But it's not nationalistic.
Well, it is nationalistic because we have cosmopolitanism.
How do you keep it alive? How do you keep it alive?
How do you keep it alive?
Yes, how do you keep the traditions alive if every kind of display of folklore culture is considered to be nationalistic?
Well, I don't put a negative thing sign on nationalism.
Because I was under the impression that we were debating nationalism as in its negative.
Well, I'm not talking about extreme nationalism. I'm not talking about chauvinism. There is a healthy dose of nationalism in every country in Europe. What it is unhealthy is that that's your only thing. That's your only cultural horizon. When it's only that, that's unhealthy. When it's that and it's other people's cultures, other people's music and dance and theater, it's okay. When you, for instance, I'm a big fan of Karajat, which is a Romanian playwright. I couldn't be able to live without him. But also, I'm a big fan of, I don't know, Bill Bryson. He's not writing theater, but he's my favorite writer.
Guido, you have to answer very quickly because we're over time.
Yeah, we need to move on.
Yeah, to your question, I can only say the experience that we have in Cluj is that what Kadruca was saying earlier, we need the authorities to give us, to not put something to block us from doing something. That would be already great, and that's exactly what's happening in Cluj. The experiences we have with the Cluj authorities, they are really welcoming the fact that big concerts are coming to Cluj, and they are doing everything in their power to help us to organize them. The stadium management, they're very professional people. I don't know if they have been put there politically or not, but at least they are doing a great job. So yes, I can tell you our 17th of October concert with Sting. But there is no other modern venue in the whole of Romania where I can stage an international concert where I want to have 10,000 people. I can only do this in Sala Polivalente in Cluj. I cannot do it in our capital because we don't have a venue for it. So yeah, Cluj is definitely a very interesting market for us, and you know we love to work there.
If I may add something to that, I think there's a difference between the mentality of some people who are seeing you as contributors to the economic growth, cultural growth of the areas that you're working in, and others who are seeing you as middlemen, competitors, and shady business figures. Because they are, some of them are shady business figures and stuff. So there's the other two that, oh, these guys are making money, we should take the money away from them. Whereas in Cluj, you have the attitude, oh, these guys are making money, we should learn something and bring more of these guys here because money is good. Not necessarily if we make it. It's good that everybody makes money. That's the difference in attitude. Some of them would try to stop people like you making money because they feel like, oh, we can do this thing too. The city hall can do it. Why should these guys do it? You know? Also, if the city hall does it, maybe we'll get reelected. How nice is that? These guys, they're into the money. They're not into politics. So it's good strategy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would like to be short, and please excuse my English because I'm a French speaker rather than English. So I will try English. What is happening? You have to imagine the European Union and European Commission like an airport. You are the plane. You are turning around, trying to land in a better way, in an excellent way, and make some values. The good thing, the important thing is not to land wrong. You want. It's to land right, everyone is well. And if you look on the European Commission and works, you know that there are windows, like, how to say, European elections. They are windows, and they have money. And we have money to spend, but in a way that it's win-win. What you want, bring people together. What we want, that make people be concerned by voting, by choosing, by deciding. So we need you need us, but in a good moment, not any moment. So my advice will be try to pick the next moment. And the next moment it's 2000.
period are on our festivals. So to get maybe even messages out there would be very easy. And to have this start, so the European Commission wanted to have, or needs this, that's what they told us. They need us, they need the music sector. Can you please provide us something that we as the Commission and then the Parliament can work with? And that was this Music Moves Europe project that we really invested many, many years and brain work, lobby work, dialogues into it. And what I knew was that it was, or what we heard, that also the kind of the presentation to the Parliament was not so very well presented. And I'm sure you're right that these parliamentarians maybe did not really understand. What is that? But you're right, and thank you. And I would love to
yeah, we need to stop it.
I am really sorry. We have to talk right now.
I need to buy you guys a coffee. You can talk.
And I would like to thank you all and give them a big hand.
Especially for the sound system. Please remember.
I hope that we're done.
If you have any questions, come up and ask us individually.